Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm very, very excited to introduce you to Lisa Botts, and we are here in her studio off of Palm Springs, or in Palm Springs, off of Palm Canyon, Sukha. She has an incredible story to tell you, and we're going to start with you telling a little bit about your business and what people can expect if they come here.
All right. So the Sukha life, Sukha means ease in Sanskrit.
Okay.
And the intention of this space is that for everyone who walks through the doors, to experience some level of ease. So
Okay.
whether it's just for the time that you're here, or preferably that you take away with you.
Right.
What we do here is this is a Soundbath training center. So we train people in sound therapy, and we also do yoga classes. I teach Kundalini yoga.
Okay.
We have a couple of other teachers that come in and teach vinyasa style. I'm also a Reiki Master.
Okay.
I teach people level 1 and 2 Reiki, and also how to become Reiki Masters.
Okay.
We run Reiki circles, and then I've also recently launched something called the Live Easy Method.
Okay.
And the Live Easy Method is a method of energetic, it's an energetic modality through movement, breath, and sound to build emotional resilience.
Okay.
So in a time like the times that we are in,
Right.
Emotions drive everything that we do every moment of the day.
Every decision. Yes, absolutely.
And so the Live Easy Method is something that I teach here in classes. So you can come and do movement and breath classes. It's also something that I take out into the community. I do this class at Sunnylands.
Oh, okay.
In Rancho Mirage.
Okay.
I also take it into, I teach at a sober house. And so the Live Easy Method is there.
Right.
And also at the Palm Springs Public Library.
All right. So you're touching all different kinds of people in various phases and stages of their lives.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that you want people to feel ease when they walk in. Christina and I were out running around like crazy, and when we entered here, it, like even all the senses, like the smell, everything about it, I immediately felt at ease. So I appreciate that very, very much. That sometimes we need that in the middle of our day.
Yeah.
And I took my shoes off because you have your shoes off.
Yes.
So, now, this was not always what you do, although you clearly touch a lot of different methods for people. Tell us a little bit about what you used to do and how you got here.
Yeah.
How and why you're here.
Yes. So what I used to do, the majority of my adult career was in sales and marketing with a global hair care manufacturer. And I was based in Los Angeles. I had a territory of San Diego to San Francisco, every city in between, every salon in between. So basically what I did is business development.
Sure.
So I walked into salons, and I would engage with the owners and help them build their business and such. And just over time, the stress of that really started to wear me down.
Right.
And that wearing me down resulted in, over the course of a year in 2015, I started to have panic attacks and heart palpitations. And I had my third panic attack at the end of 2015. And I was in the ER because I thought I was dying. And I was slumped over in a wheelchair. And I thought, whatever is happening to me, it will never happen again. And in that moment, I committed to myself to absolutely change my life. And whatever that looked like, I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't care what it was going to look like. The only thing that was guiding me was how I felt. And the thing I was looking to feel was ease.
Okay.
And that's how Sukha came to be.
So that's interesting because the stress of your job, the stress of your life as it was, caused you to have this panic anxiety.
Yeah.
Some would say the stress of changing everything about what you do could also cause that. How did you know you were moving on the right path?
Yeah, I just, after that year of anxiety and heart palpitations and being in the hospital, it was clear that whatever I had been doing up until that point was no longer working.
Right.
And that was the distinction.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a very slow unfolding, though. It wasn't like, tomorrow I'm changing my whole life. It was over the course of a number of years,
Right.
through self-awareness and discovery.
Mm-hmm.
So it was little things like, when I talk to this person, I don't leave feeling really great.
Mm.
There's no ease in that. So maybe I don't talk to that person as much. And it wasn't like, I'm cutting this person out of my life. It was
Right.
just this real knowing that that didn't align with this new ease that I was looking for.
Okay. So ease sort of became what's the word I'm looking for? The mantra of your life, the way that you found the path.
Yeah.
If it gave you ease or you felt ease, that's how you knew where to go next.
Yeah.
Were you, is that how you discovered yoga and Soundbath? You weren't involved in that prior to?
No.
Okay, so how did you come to that and sort of know that that was the path for you moving forward?
Yeah, I love that you said that. Because I had taken a few yoga classes in my life prior to this all happening, and I didn't like it. I was just like, I don't know what the hype is. I was like, people are like, yoga, and I was like, I went, and it could have been so many things, but it didn't quite stick with me. And then one day I was walking, and I had this little notion that I should become a yoga teacher.
That's very random.
It's so random. And I was in such a state of self-awareness and really exploring whatever was coming to me, that this curious little notion of a voice just caused me to go, well, what would that even look like? Because it was so very different.
Right.
And so I started searching, like, what are different types of yogas? And I thought, if I did do this, I would want it to be really rich in tradition. I would want it to have structure and depth and really be a long-term sort of training and something that supported my life.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those roads led me to this type of energy yoga, which is called Kundalini yoga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a 5,000-year-old tradition.
Wow.
It has beautiful structure. The training that I ended up taking was 10 months.
Okay.
And so very in depth.
Mm-hmm.
And over that 10 months, we were in groups, and we were meeting outside of class and growing that way. And so it was just a really incredible support during the darkest time of my life also.
Right. So many things are running through my head about that. When you think about making that sort of change in everything that you do, right? You've talked a few times about the little voice, like somebody, have you always had that sort of intuition or inside voice, or was that something that was also new for you once you started to have these panic attacks and whatnot?
Yeah, I definitely had it when I was young.
Okay.
Like when I was a little girl, I had imaginary friends, and I'd much rather be hanging out by myself.
Sure.
Not for any reason of not liking people, but I always just felt more comfortable there because I could really relate. I guess I could relate to myself with ease. Even when I was a kid, it was like I just enjoyed being by myself. And then when I was in my late teens, like 18, 19, I remember meditating, and I was reading oracle cards, and I was doing astrology charts for people by hand. And I really enjoyed aspects of it. And so I was teaching myself all of those things because it was just an interest.
Sure.
And then life happens, and it all just boop goes away.
Yeah. 100%. And you have to have a real job doing real adult-like things. And marketing, all that stuff. I definitely, wow. So now you not only are you here at yoga classes, etc., like you are searching for people who might need a little extra help with anxiety or with these struggles in life. Tell us a little bit about the person that might want to come here and investigate your studio.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because this is different from most wellness studios, right? A lot of people go, oh, it's a yoga studio, and I'm like, we have yoga here.
Sure.
But as I said, it's a number of things. Yeah.
Right.
And so I would invite people to come in, people who are interested in exploring maybe a new side of themselves, and they feel like they need a little bit of support. The people that I work mostly with in the Live Easy method is women who are going through life transitions.
Okay.
So it can be somebody who's simply looking to maybe leave their job and they don't know how to do it, but they feel like they're suffocating. It could be somebody who's recently retired. It could be somebody who's going through some heavy medical issues. And so whatever your idea of difficult transition is, because it's different for everybody.
And there's many versions of that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, whatever your version of difficult transition is, come in and know that, you know, the way that I work with my clients is that I am 100% in your corner. I am here to support you and a giant listening ear. And it's not advice, it's not life coaching. It's really built on the premise of your individual energy and how your emotions speak to you and how you can start to create a dialogue with your emotions so that they guide you and inform you rather than suppress you or scare you.
Right, right. So with the Live Easy program, is that in a group setting or is that an individual work one-on-one situation?
Right now I'm doing one-on-one.
Okay.
So we can do it online or in person.
Oh, okay. Online option. So, and what does that program what does that all entail?
Yeah, so the Live Easy method, I have two options right now. One is working with me directly, and it's over the course of 6 weeks. And we start there. And usually in 6 weeks, you see enough of a shift that if you feel like you're ready to just go and spread your wings, you know, you can go and spread your wings. I have people come back for touch-ups.
Sure.
You know, they'll come back like once a month because they're integrating some of the new things that they've observed and become aware of. And it's very natural that you take a step forward and then you come back a little bit.
Right.
As you move through this. So 6 weeks gives you a really good framework and a foundation. And then if you just kind of wanted to dip your toe in, I have a 6-week self-guided program online. You can just...
Which might work really well for some folks.
Yeah.
Interesting. You said something about balancing integrity, business, and spirituality. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I've had the Sukha Life Studio. I opened it in July of 2023, and it really came to me as a gift, and meaning that I wasn't seeking necessarily to open a studio, but it presented itself. So again, that inner knowing, that intuition was just do this.
Right, and the openness.
The
willingness to hear that or to like take in that signal, that voice, that sign as opportunity. And that's a muscle that not everybody is working all the time.
Yeah.
So please go ahead.
Yeah, because for a lot of people that just becomes fear.
Right, because I don't know, I'm not sure how it'll work out and I don't know what to do and etc.
Yeah.
When you just sort of say, well, I'll figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
You know, then more doors open, more opportunity presents itself because you're not allowing your own emotions, your own mind to hold yourself back.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a quick point with that, you know, fear is the emotion that points you to danger. That's its only purpose.
Oh, that's such a good point.
It's its only purpose.
It's a learned behavior. You are not born with fear. It's something that we learn as we get older.
Yeah.
Because if you were a baby and you were afraid all the time, like that would be very destructive, you know. But it's so true. Like fear points you to danger. It warns you of danger.
Yeah.
And we're afraid of things that are not dangerous, that are good for us, the steps that we should take.
Yeah.
That's such a good point.
Yeah. And so, you know, rather than sitting in the fear of it, it was just, as you said,
Yeah.
it was the allowing. So what became very interesting was when I opened this studio, there was a moment where I couldn't get the vision for it. And I kept asking myself, well, what do I want it to look like? What do I want people to experience here? What do I want? And I realized the I was my ego. And I was asking these questions based on what I wanted and not what the hope was for the people to
Sure.
experience and
Right.
feel when they walked in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I switched the question, and it was, what does the studio feel like? And everything just came flooding through, like every idea, what it looked like, the color of the walls, what was going to go in here,
Yeah.
the classes that were going to be here. And it was like I couldn't write fast enough.
Yeah.
It was just this absolute intuitive download of this is what this space is.
Yeah. What a moment of self-awareness, of insight, because it is so true. Like our egos they make it all about us. And they even based on what you think is right, what you think everybody's going to want, what it should look like to you. And that's just your ego, almost like the fear aspect, right? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, being a yogi and a Reiki master, right? Those are lean to the spiritual side, right? And so it's this idea of how do you run a for-profit business and still have spiritual integrity,
right?
And boy, have I learned a lot.
Tell us more, because that is an interesting balancing act, especially because I think yoga is in some people might feel like it's not accessible to them, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you mentioned you are putting yourself in areas like the sober house, the library, places where people who may not have that access can have access.
Yeah.
But there is this idea that it's not really accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
So then you bring in the spirituality and the integrity to feel like you're running a business that still has that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been successful every day with that? Or?
It's been a learning period. And I'll take out for anybody who's listening that doesn't practice yoga and doesn't even have any kind of spiritual practice. Take spiritual out of it. Integrity in business is what it really boils down to for me. Is how do you provide really transformative and meaningful programs that align with the intention of the space, which is ease, and reach people in a way that will meet them where they are,
right?
Is the word, I guess. But yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And so the learnings have been, where do I push? And when does it feel like that pushing is not aligned anymore? And there's a moment where you have to put yourself out there, right? So I'll call that push, right? Push marketing, right? You have to let people know you're here.
You want people to know you're here. You want people to come and sign up and do that over and over and over. So that's part of it.
And so that's push marketing, which is what I used to do, right? Marketing and sales and business development. And so what a blessing, right? To have that as a background. But so there's this element, but then there were moments where the push wasn't resulting in anything, and I started to get exhausted. And that's the deciding factor for me, is that exhaustion is no good for anyone, because it erodes your integrity. It erodes your ability to make very informed decisions, not only for yourself, but for the people that you're in service to.
Right.
And so, the summer's here in the desert, especially when you have business, things drop, they go low, and there just are not as many people here.
Right.
And so find a new rhythm. You can't change the fact that there aren't extra people here coming into town. So what do? You align with the rhythm of it. And so for me this summer, I kind of pulled back on my classes, and I spent more time creating really great programs that are so deep and rich. Like I expanded my Soundbath training program from 3 days to 3 months. I created a sound therapist mentorship program.
Oh, wow.
They're all certified, so, and accredited, and, and so building out these new programs rather than,
I don't have enough people.
There's not enough people. And that's the thing. It's like, there's opportunity everywhere.
Right.
And when you are constantly checking your integrity, you can stay in it. But it's when you start to compromise who you are and what you set out to be in the business that it starts to break down.
It starts to falter. That's very, very true. One point I want to touch on, you know, in your absence or less students, right, during summertime, you switch and you start to train people to do similar things that you do, which in essence allows the more people to be touched down the road, right? Because you can only touch so many people. It's just humanly possible only to do so much. But you have a bigger ripple in the pond by training other people to do what you do. So that's a great little pivot that you made that benefits everyone, right? And integrity, you know, so in our business, there's just always this like idea of what we do and who we are as real estate agents. You know, that it's about the money and the cars and the flash and the things. And, you know, Christina and I a long time ago decided like, we're here for service, you know, and I think that we try really hard to always sort of check back in and say like, are we doing this the right way, the way we want to do it? And sometimes that means like, well, I don't need to work with that person, or I don't need to XYZ because it doesn't align with how we want to run what we do. And I feel like when you move that way, it sets you apart. It makes you different. And integrity is the most important thing that you can have for that. That's amazing. That's amazing. So very cool, long path. I'm sure you had some mentors along the way, people along the way that sort of pushed you through, gave you advice. Like, is there anybody that you can think of off top or something that they said that really stuck with you and you still use it today?
Yeah, actually, one of my teachers in my yoga teacher training, I think there were 70 students in my yoga teacher training. And so we broke up into smaller groups, right? And my group leader, after I had graduated and I was kind of starting to make my way in Los Angeles at the time, and you know, I had a call with her one day and I said, well, how do you create a business around yoga? And she's like, yoga isn't a business. And I was like, well, you make money doing it, so to me that says business.
Sure.
You know? And so to me that sounded like a no, you can't do it. And I don't respond well to that. I will show you that yes, it can be done. And it's not rebellious or spiteful. It's just there's something in my DNA that when you say no to me, I will show you how to go around the wall, or maybe go through that wall or go over it, but we will figure out a way that it will happen. So that was a big one.
Interesting. And that's almost like reverse advice, or like reverse, you know what I mean? Because she was like, no, you can't. And you're like, well, no, I can. And that stuck with you this whole time.
And I understand what she was saying. Yoga is life. And well, here's a piece of life that can be a yoga, right? It's not a class, right? Yoga is not a class. And then one of my greatest mentors, I don't know if you can see the book up there, but it's called Senses of the Soul.
Okay.
And his name is Guru Khalsa, and he's a 35-year yoga therapist. And he's written 2 books on emotions. And so I trained with him in a very small group of only 3 other people for 3 years. And all we talked about were emotions. And so almost everything that he said to me was a catalyst for the next great thing. Because through that, which is really the core of the Live Easy method, is this emotional resilience. But through that I understood fear. I understood my anxiety now, and I don't have it anymore.
Right. So, when was the last time you had a panic attack?
Well, it was 2015. That night, I was like, never again. And now through the years, I've had moments, you know, but I listen to it rather than allowing it to suffocate me. You know, I literally will say, okay, fear, you're here, and you're going to sit in the seat next to me and put your seatbelt on because we're going together. You know, you don't get to be in front of me or the boss of me. You can show me if there's danger somewhere.
Right. But I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so whatever you have to say, just let me know if there is real danger. Otherwise, it's false.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that piece of separating fear from you, separating your emotions from you, your negative thoughts from you, allows you to have better control of that. Because really, they're all aspects of what happens in your brain and in your body, but you are in charge.
Mhm.
And it's when we let them take over that things happen. You know. And what about the, women are so emotional. Stop being so emotional. Don't be in tune with your emotions. Do you get people, not just women, but people in here who are very like closed off to their emotions, and that's not something I'm comfortable with?
Yes, and that is the majority of people that come through, because we are not taught how to communicate with our emotions. We're
Right.
not taught what their purpose is,
Mhm.
what their gifts are. And each one has a purpose and each one has a gift. Anger is empowerment. You know, grief shows you the joy and the love that you
Sure.
experience, right?
Right.
Guilt shows you when you're out of integrity,
Ah,
you
right.
know? And that's it. There's nothing else to know,
Right.
but wrapped around that is a whole life story and behaviors and ways of being and, just deep layers of self that you have to be ready and willing to open up to move past that. And
Yeah.
most people are not.
Yeah, most people are not, because that step of maybe slightly admitting that I need change is a really hard thing for people to do. And so they go through their life committed to being just exactly who they are, or what they, you know what I mean? And their thought processes don't change, and their emotions are unmanageable, etc. And when you have the opportunity to really experience growth through that by saying like, I need something about me to be different, is just, that's life changing. That's life changing.
Yeah, without breaking any confidence, I have had a client, because now she's flourished, 69 years old, and came in and, she was taking classes here. And she said one day, I think I'm ready to work with you. And I said, okay. And so we set out on a 6-week program. And I said, what is the core? And she said, I'm grouchy. I've been grouchy my whole life, 69 years old. And she said, I want to experience happiness.
Mm.
And so we did it.
Mm.
But there was so much that she had to go through, because it's not just you, it's also how the important people in your life view you. And it's those relationships that you have with people.
Right.
So when you change, the people around you change.
Yep.
They may not always like what happens to you.
Right.
But you do, because you are getting to the essence of who you are.
Right. And when you are there, I'm sure she would say now that she has this happiness, the people around her are people who bring her happiness, and that she shares that, and they're way better than maybe where she was before.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to go through those changes, to do the work on yourself. Because you shed not only your previous skin, but also people who are not worth your energy. Right? Like when you talked earlier on about, I'm talking to this person and I leave and I don't feel ease.
Yeah.
Just that alone is something that people should take into practice. That alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So what would be the best way for people to come and learn more about your studio or meet with you? What's the best way to connect?
Yeah, through the website is the Sukha, which is SUKHA life.com. And my Instagram is the same, at the Sukha Life. However you need to spell it.
Sure. And who could come? Ages?
Yeah.
Male, female, everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome. Because everybody needs, let me change that. I don't want to say that. Most people are looking to live the best, most fulfilled life that they can. And if this is a space that can support you in that, whether it's through some movement or some breath or a deeper program or a sound bath, you can dip your toe in any of those areas. And if you feel like it's something that feels good to you, then we move forward. So what I would say is, because this is a unique space with
Sure.
so many different things happening, is just reach out.
Yeah.
And say, I saw this, I heard about you, I'm interested, I have no idea where to start, because so much of what I do is flexible.
Right.
So
And
literally
can fit, right? And can fit into many people's situations. Well, good. Is there anything else you'd like to say or share?
You know, thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you,
you.
Christina.
Yeah.
And thank you both for what you are doing. You know, just bringing forth people's stories.
Yeah.
Of course, women.
Sure. Sure.
Just the stories of people, because we've all got one.
We do.
And
We do.
they are all worth hearing.
Mhm.
And it's really a beautiful way to connect to people, is to simply listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We really, really appreciate that very much. May I hug you?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate
So
that so
welcome.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next time.
Bye.
Oh, that was